Hello, hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that guy over there, this guy down here, children of all ages. It is time for open mic night to drive into the top team. My name is Big Rich. I got Dylan to the left. I got Ken to the right. It is Game 3 World Series night, so we'll be keeping you up to date on that. Currently, Toronto is up 2-1 after a two-run bomb off Shohei Ohtani by Vlad Guerrero Jr. First question, guys. Does Ohtani hit a homer to answer back?
No.
No.
They're still playing baseball.
Oh, listen to this guy down there. If it was the Cubs,
Yeah, sure.
he'd be all decked out in his Cubs stuff and all that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My season's over. I could care less. You know what? I mean, look, at LA needs something to celebrate, considering what a dumpster fire the city's become and everything else they got going on there. So sure, why not?
What is LA?
Did you? I know Ken's answer to this. Dylan, did you stay up and watch all 18 innings last night?
No, I actually didn't even watch much of the baseball game. I was busy watching the hurricane.
Gotcha.
I was
actually
tracking
watched
it
all the way through.
I was tracking it while I was shit posting on X because Adam Schiff kept giving me updates. I'm like, he cared more about updates on the baseball game than the government shutdown. So I was like, all right, cool. Adam Schiff actually did me a service for once.
Well, and hopefully I speak for all of us. By the way, Ohtani just struck out. But I think I speak for all of us whenever I say we certainly send our best wishes to everybody that's being affected by this storm. Super bad deal for Jamaica headed to Cuba. And
it's a cat. Did it make landfall as a 5? Did it make landfall as a 5?
Maybe, yeah.
I've seen pictures. That
showed 200. Yeah, they showed 241 mile an hour winds at one point.
Yeah,
that eye is tight. That is
Ken, let me tell you this. I am a hurricane freak, and I did a short stream about it yesterday, and today's landfall, Hurricane Melissa tied the Great Labor Day hurricane in 1935 for the strongest landfall in hurricane in the Atlantic Basin, and some say maybe even Melissa is the strongest in the Atlantic Basin history.
I've seen some video coming out of it, and surprisingly enough, Jamaica is faring, from the video that we saw, while the floodwaters are there, it's faring pretty well, like structurally. Like structures were still there. Unlike when that Cat 5 hit just down the road from me here in Florida and it destroyed all of Mexico Beach. But here's the thing, like this part of the region is built for hurricanes. They build their buildings for hurricanes. Now, they're not necessarily building for Cat 5s. Most are Cat 2, Cat 3, but Cat 5 building has become a thing because even when you go back to the one that hit us here, Mexico Beach, the one house that was still standing on the beach was a brand new house that was built to Cat 5 standards.
Built to withstand 240 mile an hour winds. You must have seen the one house.
No, there were more than a few. It just look at. I mean, they're starting to build to Cat 5 standards in a lot of places, especially in that part of the world. They build to withstand hurricanes. I mean, this is a monster. Don't get me wrong, and I think there's going to be massive devastation. But they're building better in terms of structurally to be prepared for these hurricanes because they're building for Cat 2s or 3s, but they also build like, hey, I gotta survive maybe 3 or 4 of these in a season sometimes. So they've got this down. This is an extremely powerful storm, but I don't think it's going to be like Jamaica's wiped off the face of the map kind of thing. I think they're faring a little bit better than some fear. It's still going to be horrendous, but they're just more prepared for these things now than they were 10 years ago.
Well, we don't know. Well, we
trying to be a small.
Yeah, we just got joined by our guys from our Buffalo Sports Conversation podcast, Jamie and Joe. You guys are used to big snowstorms up there. I know I saw quite a few in Pittsburgh myself. We were just kind of doing a little hurricane talk, World Series talk, that kind of thing coming into this deal. Did either one of you guys stay up and watch the whole game last night?
I
No,
didn't
well-
watch the full game. I fell asleep, man.
You know me, I'm an early to bed person. So I was traveling yesterday. I was on a weekend trip. So I was in bed by 9 o'clock. But I woke up probably around 3, to go to the bathroom. And I said, well, let me take a peek and see who won. And I see it said 18 innings. And it's like, oh my goodness, it's 3 o'clock right now. It's like 3:05. I was like, this game couldn't have ended much. Yeah, right. So, and that's the second time this postseason that's happened where, I wake up in the middle of the night and it's, with the Seattle game too. It's like,
I think it has a chance to be I think it has a chance to be one of the all-time great World Series. I think it could.
No,
definitely
it could. It very well could. My wife and I were in bed watching TV, playing on our phones, that kind of thing. And I'm watching it, and I'd been watching it before. She came in the room and just kept going, and I'm thinking, man, I got an early. I got stuff I got to get done. I need to be up at like 7, and it becomes midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then it finally ends at 2. It was like 3 or 4 minutes till 2 my time, Central Time, and I knew it when Freeman hit it. You knew the sound that it made off his back. You knew it was gone.
Yeah.
He could have been hitting that thing in the Grand Canyon, and it was gone. So Adam's down there in the bottom right.
Huh? Your camera's doing it again. You're black.
Yeah, we told them.
Oh. I'm late. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Let me think. I've got an idea.
Cool.
I've got an idea for this show. Let's talk good, bad, and ugly. Good, the Buffalo Bills against the Carolina Panthers. So, Joe, what changed with the Bills? Because the Bills look like the Bills. I don't know, whatever. Like Sean McDermott, the Bills are great coming off bias for some reason.
Yeah, I said this last week on our show. And I said this on our show today. I was saying it all week. It was the perfect storm against Carolina because, A, they're playing a little bit over their heads, and it was about time for them to regress to the mean. 2, the Bills were ticked off, losing to 2 inferior opponents, 2 losses in a row. As you said, 3, they're immaculate and undefeated with McDermott coming off a bye. It was just, again, and the fact that Bryce Young was out of the game too. There was just no way in my mind. Now, I didn't expect it to be this one-sided, but there was no way the Bills were going to lose that game. And I knew that, and not just me. I mean, a lot of people, same reasons that I just gave. To me, there was no way the Bills were going to lose that game.
Jamie.
If Andy Dalton would have beat you guys, y'all would have had big problems.
Right.
Yeah, we would have. But thank God it didn't come down to that. Anyway, yeah, I agree with everything Joe said. It was they had a full bye week to really just soak in what happened the last 2 weeks, and they came out and played like the Bills, and they let Joe Brady finally figured out you got to let James cook, man, and run the freaking football to win.
What's the deal with Keon Coleman? He just seems to have fallen off the edge of the earth. What's the deal with him? Have they lost faith in him or what?
No, but I think it's a product of the fact that none of the receivers can get, or they can't. Their whole receiving core as a whole, it's not just him. They cannot get open and create separation for some reason. Like, it doesn't matter who they got on the team. I mean, Josh Palmer was doing it against New England, but he got hurt. And it's just, they collectively, I think they have good receivers. But the problem is they're all like route running possession guys. They need that one guy that can complement those route runners that could take the top off of a defense. But Joe Brady said in his press conference that in the Chiefs game, he was going to look to get Coleman involved in the passing game more. So we'll see this week.
Yeah, and that was a knock against Coleman. I agree with what Jamie said there. The knock against Coleman when they drafted him as a rookie was his weakness, getting away from defenders. And perhaps
they drafted him too, Joe, because we thought we were going to get another Mike Evans, that big physical, athletic, you can go up and make the tough catches receiver. That's what we thought we were getting with Coleman, was that.
Mm-hmm.
With a week before the deadline, do the Bills need to get another interior defensive lineman or maybe another receiver?
I would like both, but I think they got to take care of the receiver because like I said, they do have Zion Logue, who has played and has been activated off the practice squad. They got Jordan Phillips. Deion Walker's turning into an animal. I mean, he's all over the field. But I think they take care of the receiver first. And if TJ Sanders isn't ready to come back, do that second. And I saw that the Bills may try to get Harrison Phillips back from the Jets.
And I heard Myers. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just because my screen is frozen. You guys are all frozen on my screen. I don't know if I am, but
your picture is frozen. Stalling over there.
Jacoby Myers could be a good fit. Like the Bills, honestly, Jacoby Myers could be a good fit. He's gonna be a free agent at the end of the year. There's some rentals. There quite possibly could be some rentals at wide receiver that could definitely help the Bills out. And Jacoby Myers might be one of them.
If you want to go the classic, speed wide receiver, but can play special teams, because McDermott likes a lot of his guys to be able to play special teams, you could go with Rashad Shaheed, because he's a speed burner, but he can do kick return too. And that's McDermott likes his guys that can play special.
Yeah, but it depends on if they're going to be available. Right now, Jacoby Myers is looking like he's going to be available. He wants to get out of Vegas.
And play special teams, though.
Who cares? You're bringing him in. Who cares?
McDermott likes his guys that can play special.
Who cares, teams. Jamie? I mean, I don't. McDermott's like, I need a wide receiver. Here's a wide receiver who can change my wide receiving core to the positive. Oh, you know what? I won't get him because he can't do special teams, which I don't need to fix, by the way. But because I can't use him willy-nilly. No, Jacoby Myers is a rental that you would bring in to solidify the receiving core to make a push for the Super Bowl. I mean, great. McDermott wants him to play special teams, but that's not what your need is.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think I would take Jacoby Myers.
I would too. I like Jacoby Myers too. I want him.
I don't think.
I just gotta think that loss of Ed Oliver is a monster, and knowing that he's cooked for the year. Mm-hmm. That to me just seems like that would be a whole lot bigger concern.
He's not done for the year. It's a torn bicep.
Well, he's done probably till week 18 at least.
Torn bicep is 4 to 6 month recovery. So, you're looking, he'd be ready for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big loss, especially because of how well he's been playing the whole time too.
Right.
When he's in the lineup, I mean, he's been hurt a lot. But that's a big loss.
It's a shame because he's a stud.
By the way, you know what week this is? A certain quarterback's coming to town.
Yep, it's Chiefs week, baby. The Bills' favorite holiday.
So I mean, Bills win the regular season, but Chiefs win in January, and
yeah, but it could be one of those things where we win in January and we actually make it to January, and the Chiefs don't make it to January at all.
So wait a minute,
the Chiefs are making it to January. The Chiefs are making it to January.
Yeah,
they may not. Joe and I talked about it on our show. They may not.
Yeah, you know what? The Bills might not either.
I think we have a better chance than the Chiefs do. We got a better record than them.
How the Chiefs got their 2 warm-up games in, and they're not even full circled yet.
And we still have a better record than them. better record than them. This is the first time we played them with a better record in the regular season. We've never played them going in with a better record.
I did say things are going to be different this year. Now, I predicted the Bills to lose this game Sunday. I really think that the Chiefs win 30-28, I said. But I think things turn out a little bit more different later on. I think the Chiefs do make the playoffs. I don't see them getting to the Super Bowl, though.
Right.
The Bills, I think, have a better
either.
chance to get to the Super Bowl.
Especially with Pacheco out. Pacheco, you don't know how long he's going to be out. You know, and as long as and I said this when Adam and I did our show last week, when Patrick Mahomes, who now he's second, but when Patrick Mahomes is your leading rusher, that's a bad deal. You don't want that guy being your leading rusher, you know, because they're just asking for him to get hurt.
Right.
That's the one thing they're still having trouble with is running the football.
Right. And both of these teams, both Buffalo and Kansas City, if the starting quarterback goes down, you're screwed.
True.
Let's just be perfectly honest about
I disagree with that. Andy Reid.
I disagree with that too.
Andy Reid.
Mr. Trubisky's a pretty good backup. He can run that offense. I think he could.
Oh no!
Yes, he can. He can totally run this offense.
He may be able to, but he ain't Josh Allen.
Yeah, I agree with
Rich.
But
they don't have to change up the personnel. They could call the same stuff with them.
Trubisky fits Buffalo, and Buffalo fits Trubisky. It's actually one of the better matches in terms of backup quarterback to organization. It is one of the better matchups in football. And look, they love Trubisky. Trubisky loves them. When he plays, the offense doesn't change that much. It changes a little, but they can win games with Trubisky.
No, wait a minute. So Buffalo going from Josh Allen to Mitchell Trubisky would be like going from Sidney Sweeney to actress down the street.
No, not even close to that.
No, but I do think that if the Bills lose Josh Allen, their Super Bowl chances are out the window.
Yes.
And the Chiefs the same way.
Bad. Ken? What the heck would the Bears focus on facing Lamar this weekend because you turned Snoop Huntley into a Pro Bowler again?
Well, Huntley beat the Bears last time he faced them. Not that it matters much, but that Ravens defense was better than everyone expected this weekend. They got healthy. That helped. They're good off their bye. That helps. Offensively, the Bears, the problem that we have and have had the entire season is red zone efficiency. 30%, something like that, less. Those first two drives, if those are 7s instead of 3s, much different ball game. So really, when it comes down to the Bears, it's red zone efficiency, and that's a Ben Johnson issue. Ben Johnson needs to crack that code as to what plays are going to work for this Bears offense in the red zone. Because the one thing I've noticed about the plays he's calling is he's not getting optimal protection from his line with the plays, the run plays and the pass plays he's called. So the line is still a little bit of an issue. It means that they're not calling the right plays. It's a Ben Johnson issue. He's got to figure that out. Defensively, I mean, dude, you're out without cornerback 1, cornerback 2, cornerback 3, cornerback 4. You're starting 2 cornerbacks when we're 5 and 6 on the depth chart this week. That makes a big difference too.
Is part of the problem that Caleb is too inconsistent?
No.
Because the last couple of weeks, I mean, Caleb was not good against the Saints. You won.
Here we go. Here comes the BS train. Choo choo. Bullshit coming out the stack. Look, it's just stop with they have to be the quarterback stuff. No, it doesn't have to be the quarterback stuff. He actually had some pretty good numbers this week. He did throw the interception, which I kind of blame him a little bit. I think he's trying to force the ball to roam a little too much. But all this other, I want to hate on Caleb bullshit. Stop. Just stop. Okay? Just stop it already. I mean, I know you like to slobber all over Mahomes' knob, but stop it with Caleb. It's not just Caleb issues. Some of it's play calling. There's just a dysfunction right now with the offense. Like, we couldn't even get the run game going. They ran okay. They passed okay. The problem is when they got down to the red zone, we still haven't figured out the efficiency. And that's not Caleb because they're moving the ball overall. They ran the ball decently. They passed the ball decently. But the red zone efficiency, they're terrible, and that's a Ben Johnson issue. Ben Johnson needs to crack the code on what this Bears offense needs to do in the red zone to be successful. And to be honest, I thought they might have had something the other week with that run, that QB run Caleb had with Swift blocking for him. Like, that play worked, but they're not finding a good pass play. They're not finding a good tight end play. They just haven't locked in. They haven't really gotten to a place where they have 2 or 3 plays they can go to in the red zone to become more efficient. That's the problem.
I think the reason why everybody piles on Caleb, Ken, and this is as someone that isn't a Caleb fan, you know that,
I know,
but also looks at things from the right perspective. The whole thing of him in the very beginning saying that he was going to be the second coming of the Messiah in Chicago and that he was going to do no wrong meant, okay, no matter what happens,
right?
You better make this shit work. And yes, it is a lot of other stuff. Football is the ultimate team game. We all know this, whether it's, the line not doing their job, the play calling being bad, guys dropping balls, guys, not performing on the defensive end, whatever it is. But I think a lot of people are harder on Caleb than normal because of that stuff at the very beginning of him saying he was coming in and being the savior of this team.
Yeah, he had the swagger. Hey, you're not going to punt, blah, blah. And then, look, Roma Dunze drops too many balls. No, he doesn't. He's 6th in the NFL with that drop rate, 6th best in the NFL. Oh, but the ball down the sideline. You mean the play that was busted where Caleb was scrambling from his life, rolling to the right. Rome sees this, starts moving towards the sideline. Caleb puts the ball where basically only Rome could have a shot at it. And Rome, as he's falling down to the ground trying to make this catch, couldn't make the spectacular, oh my God, catch. Therefore, Rome is bad. Just fans in general in Chicago just need to stop. Like, they just got beat. They weren't ready for this defense. The defense was a lot better than what they expected. Red zone efficiency is the Achilles heel. And defensively, we could not stop the pass game because, look, you're missing your top 4 corners, which affects your run defense, which affects your blitzing and your pressure, which affects your coverage. I mean, missing Spider-Man, Spidey being out for 4 weeks is a game changer. I mean, you saw the 2 games when he was back. That defense looked phenomenal. You take him out, and no Tyreek Stevenson didn't help either.
No. But I do have a question for all of you guys. And we just finished week 6 week 8 heading into week 9. So we are at the halfway point of the season. Yeah. This is for all of you guys.
Yep.
Your biggest positive surprise of the season so far, and your biggest disappointment so far. Dylan, start with you.
Biggest surprise, definitely the Indianapolis Colts. I didn't have the Colts starting, 7-1. I mean, Daniel Jones comeback play of the year. JT and it front run for MVP this year. But I had my question about the Colts. The Colts have played a Pac-Man-like schedule. They've beaten the crappy Tennessee Titans, the lousy Las Vegas Raiders. Good win against the Broncos. Oh, yeah, they beat the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, the Miami Dolphins that turned Bijan into the second best running back from Texas this weekend. Oh, gosh. And biggest disappointment? In a way, probably the Las Vegas Raiders. I know tough schedule, but honestly, this year I expected more from a team with Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, Geno Smith, Janty, Bowles. I know injuries, but I honestly, the Raiders have not been good this year.
All right, Adam, your biggest positive, pleasant surprise, and your biggest disappointment at the halfway point of the year.
Ooh, halfway point of the year. Biggest surprise.
Positive surprise, pleasant surprise.
Seeing Jonathan Taylor get revived. That's been nice. I don't know. I've always been a Jonathan Taylor fan, so seeing that revival is good. Disappointment.
Yeah.
Have to be all the season-ending injuries so far.
That's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at Scatterboo, looking at Evans, obviously Joe Burrow, Carson Wentz just went down too. We knew J.J. McCarthy was coming back soon, though. Yeah, so I would go the injuries and Jonathan Taylor.
Jamie, your pleasant surprise and your disappointment at the halfway point of the year.
I think the pleasant surprise, like I said, with Dylan, it's definitely the Colts and also the Seahawks. My biggest disappointment, though, I think would have to be the Jets, because I really thought with Eric Glenn that I don't know if they were going to be good right away, but I mean, I just expected them to be better than 1-7 with a guy like him coaching your team.
Ken?
So I'm going to do something different because mine would pretty much echo what everyone else has already done, right? I'm just going to go specific to my team. I think the biggest surprise for me has been Kyle Monangai. Well, two parts. Monangai and Tyreek Stevenson. Monangai, because I didn't expect much out of the seventh rounder, but I think he's supplanted Roshan Johnson on this roster to the point where Rojo will not be a Bear next year. Tyreek Stevenson is kind of a pleasant surprise for me because I expected him to progress into year 3, but I did not expect him to bloom into almost a shutdown corner without JJ being there for the Bears. I think when they get JJ back, if they can get JJ back and get Kyler Gordon back with those 3 guys, it's a no-fly zone in Chicago. So I think that's been my surprises there. My not so pleasant surprise, my letdown. Ben Johnson's offense. We've seen glimpses of the passing game being really good with the play calling and everything. And then we've seen glimpses of the running game being really good, but we've never seen them both put together where they're both really good. That's for me the thing I'm like, because Dennis Allen, with the defense, it's kind of going how I thought it would, especially given the injuries. But the offense doesn't have that issue, and I'm upset because I haven't seen the passing game plan and the running game plan married together into a total offense game plan. And here we have a number 10 overall pick at tight end and Cole Kmet, who is a beast of a weapon that any team would be happy to have. And it's like we very rarely use either of them as a weapon. So, yeah, Ben Johnson's offense is my kind of like, okay, dude, when are we going to stop teasing me, show it to me finally? And so that's why I'm going to do it differently, just do it based on my team, because I agree with everyone else for some of this stuff for the records. Because look, the AFC West is what we thought they were. They're the best division in the West right now. The NFC North is the best division in the NFC right now, record-wise. There have been some other surprises in that, but I think keeping a team specific might, you know what I'm saying, gives a little more gravitas, if you will.
Joe?
All right, so the biggest surprise positively, I got to go with the Colts. I don't think there's too much, dispute with that. Now, my biggest disappointment is a conditional disappointment, and I'll explain. It's the team I picked to win the Super Bowl, the Baltimore Ravens. They're 2-5. However, even though they're the biggest disappointment, they still have a chance here. And For a few reasons. One is because the team in Pittsburgh that had the AFC North gift wrapped for them refuses to accept the gift. They had it, like I said, by default. The Browns in their situation, the Bengals with Burrow out. Again, the Ravens going 2-5. I mean, the Steelers should have won this division hands down, and they still might. But the Ravens have guys coming back. Their schedule, I heard this on the radio the other day that I really didn't realize. And they were talking about their schedule. I mean, coming up here, you got the Dolphins, you got the Vikings, you got the Browns. Now they do have all three of those games on the road. So that could be a little difficult. But then after that, the Jets and the Bengals at home, the Steelers at home also. Another game with the Bengals. You got New England, and then you got Green Bay and Pittsburgh again. But the Ravens can get themselves into this. If they win the games that they're supposed to win, get themselves in the next 4 games, get themselves maybe one game, get to 6-7. They can win this division still, the way these other teams are playing. So they're my biggest disappointment so far. But the door, thanks to the Steelers mainly, has been kicked open and held open for them to possibly get right back in this thing.
And Joe, this might help your argument, but it also might hurt your argument. Okay. With Joe Burrow going down, like we all thought, okay, since he's done. The Browns were a hot mess. We thought, well, they're done. But since the quarterback movement has happened in both cities, like Cincinnati's not the easy out we thought they were 3 weeks ago. And the Browns are still not an easy out. They're actually better with the rookie. So that could do something for the Ravens, like create a situation where the Ravens now, that door gets opened a little bit more because Cincy or Cleveland beat Pittsburgh. But by the same token, though, those are going to be trap games, I think, for Baltimore.
Which is true. And again, nobody in that division wants it. I thought the Bengals were going to sneak in the door, and then they go and lose a game they shouldn't have lost, on Sunday. So nobody in that division seems to want to win it.
Well, and I agree with you. My biggest pleasant surprise, yes, I'm very pleased with the Colts, but my most pleasant surprise is the Patriots. If Vrabel comes in there, Drake May has really proven that he can quarterback this team and be a really good quarterback in this league. 75% accuracy. The defense is playing like crazy. They've got the 2 running backs that are doing tremendous job back there. Ramondre Stevenson is definitely leading the plays, but you've got Travion Henderson there just in case. New England at the top of the division to me is the biggest pleasant surprise. Shortly behind and right behind them is the Colts. Mm-hmm. The biggest disappointment to me, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, is the Cowboys defense. Will somebody please check the milk cartons for that Cowboys defense? Because it is non-existent. I mean, I realize the Steelers defense has been rough the last couple of weeks. The Cowboys defense has not shown up from training camp yet. They are bottom of the league all over the place with guys like Trayvon Diggs. And even before they traded Micah Parsons, you still had all those guys there that, were getting to they're supposed to be getting to the quarterback and making things happen on the defensive end and coverage. And they've done nothing. I don't know how much of that is Schottenheimer just being an offensive guy and not putting as much in the defense. But that Cowboy defense has been horrific, dude.
Rich, that's the other point. It's Eberflus. That's what makes it even worse. Like Eberflus in Chicago, we know he had a good defense. We saw the difference when he got fired last year. But even when he was in Indy, he had a good defense. It's like he forgot how to call defense, and because they took out Mike, okay, fine, but then you get Kenny Clark, which now stuffs the middle. But I think they're worse against the run now with Clark than they were with Parsons, and overall as a unit, much worse. And it's surprising because it's Eberflus who's known to call good defenses.
Yep, and they've been torched by some really good quarterbacks, and they've been torched by some quarterbacks too. Bo Nix just absolutely made them look stupid this past Sunday. And the Broncos defense made them look bad too. But they just, I don't know. I just do not know. So,
Rich,
but I figured since we were at the halfway point, I wanted to see where everybody was at.
Yeah. The sad thing is the Cowboys defense made Russell Wilson look like Tom Brady.
Yeah,
they did. Well, what did you throw up for 350?
Right.
you remember though?
419.
He had like over 400 that game. But remember what I said preseason. The Cowboys are like the Notre Dame Fighting Irish back in the 80s and 90s when the API poll was the thing. Every year the Irish were top 3 in the poll, and then the season started, and within 3 weeks they were out of the top 25. That's the Cowboys every year. And I don't know what it is with Dallas, like who put a curse on them, what the bad juju is. Maybe there's some people in NOLA had some voodoo dolls out. I do not know. But the Cowboys just every year, that's why I don't include them, Rich, because I kind of expect this out of the Cowboys to have something majorly wrong with them every year.
It's not the bad juju, it's the bad JJ.
Well, there's that too. And I just keep thinking that maybe my bad wishes that I have sent to Valley Ranch and all that area has finally come to fruition up there, because I keep pulling for that 0-17 season that, would absolutely just set me over the edge. But I don't know. I mean, usually the defense has been the solid part, and Dak would screw something up or the receiver. I'm still waiting because they haven't had enough time yet together. I'm waiting for the implosion of the Lamb and Pickens situation, because that's going to become pickled lamb before too awful long. When
but as long as you're within 68,
not getting the ball, Lamb is.
As long as you're within 68 yards, you can have Aubrey kick it. So that guy can. I think that guy could probably kick from his own 20 and make it. Jesus.
They do have the best kicker in football, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. In the playoffs, Harrison Butker's better than Aubrey.
Butker.
I don't know, man.
Okay,
I would take Aubrey before I took Butker.
Yeah, I would take Aubrey all day. Aubrey's got a much better leg. He's got the strongest leg in the league. I mean, I get what you're saying. Butker gets some big kicks, but if you put Butker out at 58, 60, no. It's like Cairo Santos. I love Cairo Santos, but he doesn't have the leg past 50.
And Aubrey kicks in a dome.
He kicks him wherever he is. It doesn't matter where he's been. He kicks him.
We watch Brandon Aubrey kick in the USFL every fucking Saturday. Don't tell me he can't kick outside.
That dude, 63-yarder in Washington.
Yeah, he's got the best leg in football.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Cameron Dicker is right there with him. The kid of the Chargers, out of the University of Texas. That kid can.
I thought McPherson would be like the future, but he dropped off with a little inconsistency. But actually, I'm wondering why the Bears didn't keep Moody and went with Santos. I love Santos, but if that hurricane drill at the end of the first half showed anything, it showed that Santos does not have the leg for a 58-yarder, but Moody does.
Yeah.
But Aubrey's like hands down. I would trade draft picks to get Aubrey in Chicago. I wouldn't trade draft picks to get Butker in Chicago.
They're not going to get rid of Brandon.
No, they're not. I'm making that argument that like if the two were available, there's one I would spend capital on, and the other like no, I'll just go sign a guy.
Mm-hmm. Knowing what we know about the NFL and these meetings that they do at the end of every season and all that, we know that they're working on going to this 18-game season. And we're right in the middle of all these off weeks that we've got going on. Last week we had 6 teams on a bye, or 2 weeks ago we had 6 teams on a bye. This past week we had 2. Where do you guys stand as far as staying where we're at with 17 weeks? Or 17 games, and 1 bye week, or going to the 18-game schedule that they've been talking about with 2 bye weeks and taking the exhibition season down to just 2 games.
I think, Rich, what they're looking at now, and I was reading about this summer as I was looking for the Daily Show. We have to do something every day. One thing we talked about was let me ask you guys this. When was the last time the league expanded the rosters?
It's been a while.
It's a 53-man roster, but a 49-man dress. They're talking about expanding the roster out, which would then let you maybe have a 53-man dress and like a 57-man roster. I think that might be the way they go and keep it, because look, we all of us here know the intrinsic value of the preseason games. I mean, we all bitch about how week 1 and 2 sucks ass because there's no more preseason, and look at the injuries we have and this, that, and the other. I think they're going to have to look to expand the rosters and to go to 18, and maybe you go to 18 with 1 bye, but you expand the rosters and you keep the 3 preseason, which, let's face it, the starters already aren't playing, so the preseason's not really important in terms of this discussion, because the coaches don't play the starters for the most. There's a lot of starters who don't play a single game of the preseason. But if you're going to add 1 more game, cool, expand the rosters. I think that's probably the route they will go.
Outside of the COVID move they made, the last time the active roster was raised was 2011. They went from 45 to 46, and then in before that it was 1993.
Yeah, so we're due, but that didn't change to 53. It just changed the dress. It's still 53 in that last change. So they got to go higher than a 53, go like to a 57, and then take the dress from like a 49 to 53.
You don't think they need to implement the second off week?
No.
Week, whatever the hell you want.
Like right now, we're already playing regular season games during January. That used to be the divisional or the NFC champion. Week 19 game, the final game of the season, is now when the NFC championship and AFC championship used to be.
Yep.
Right. I mean, so how much further back are we going to push it? I know they like doing this 365 football thing, but the problem is I think part of this 365 football thing is why we're seeing a lot of these soft tissue injuries. That and the off season and the restrictions they put, the way they've done things over the last decade, we're seeing more injuries, not less. I don't think they want to push out. And also, unless they're going to push the draft back, and that I don't think they want to push out, because right now some teams, like if you're a Super Bowl team, you're really constricted in your prep time for the draft when the Super Bowl ends, right? The gap is too small. So they would then, let's say you have to push it out, the league would have to push out 2 more weeks almost. So now you're getting the playoffs would start in February.
I completely
and you look at it. If you look at it right now, they basically have the Super Bowl and then spring training starts that week.
Yeah.
You were going to say, Joe?
I was going to say
they're trying to push this back to ruin the Daytona 500.
I don't think the NFL cares about the Daytona 500 or spring training. By the way,
I don't think
you're still going to have 250,000 people at the Daytona 500. Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, my vote, and this is never, ever going to happen. How about a 16-game schedule with 3 preseason games and 1 bye? I thought that worked totally fine, and I thought that was the best scenario. If you're going to change to 18 games, you got to push things. I'd say you push it back into the summer more. You get 2 preseason, start the season Labor Day weekend, and then you're ending – again, the second week of January and pushing the Super Bowl up a week, and it's not as drastic. I completely disagree with the whole thing. I thought 16 games was perfect.
The plan I saw, Joe, had opening weekend was the 3rd weekend in August.
Right.
Your first 2 weeks in August were preseason games. You went into the season middle of August, and then Super Bowl was still where it's at.
The thing about the uneven game right now, it works great for that NFL Europe thing, because now the home game they're taking away isn't one of your 8 ticketed home games. That's the beauty of the 17 right now. Because I agree with you, Joe. I like 16 too. 17 works though, because like if they're going to have, and they're continuing to expand the European model, right? But now the home team isn't losing one of their 8 home games. They're losing the bonus home game. So they're not losing. It's not a distinct disadvantage or advantage in terms of revenue, because that's a home game. It's the bonus game. If they go to 18, well, now you're losing one of your 9. So that's problematic too. But 2 preseason games, you might as well just cancel the preseason altogether, to be honest with you at that point, because look, at the nice thing about the 3 preseason games is it's still a month-long training camp. If you have 2 preseasons, now you're going to make it a 3-week training camp. And those 2 preseasons, you got to set rosters and figure out I think the more they get rid of preseason, the worse the product is in the early part of the season. They should really, honestly, truth be told, if I had my druthers about it, 4 preseason games. If you're going to go to 18, fine, go to 18. 4 preseason games, expand the active roster and your contract roster, expand it all. Because you know what, for buys, then you know what you do? Hey, you got a team that plays on a Sunday in Europe, and they already had their bye. Give them the mini buys so their next game's a Thursday. Like, get creative with the scheduling to create more mini buys on the European schedule, right? I mean, that would help that out too.
Here's an idea: cut that European crap out.
They make too much money, Joe.
I know.
They make way too much money.
I hate those games.
Hey, by the way, did you guys see a couple royal celebrities at Dodger Stadium tonight?
There's never any celebrities at Dodger Stadium.
No, never. It's only LA. So I mean,
Jason,
they never
Jason
show
there?
up.
No.
I thought they were going to get Sandy Koufax loose last night, though.
He looks like he can still throw.
Joe, they're going to expand that out. What do we have? 8 games this year, and I think next year is going to 9. Like this year, we added Ireland. We're adding Paris, and we're adding Madrid. And that stadium for Madrid is freaking phenomenal. Even if you just watch that stadium, and there's a good documentary. I think I mentioned it before on Nat Geo on how they built that stadium while the club played their seasons in it. Just NFL needs to look at that stadium and go, maybe we should do some of that. But I mean, they're going to expand out even further next year. And why? Because everywhere they go, they make money hand over fist. And it's either going to pave the way of one of 2 things. Either they're going to put a team in London, right? Maybe London would probably be the first, and maybe the second could be like Munich, who has an appetite, or it's going to be the launching pad for NFL Europe down the road. And I think at that point, Joe, they stop going to Europe if NFL Europe can sustain itself. But right now, they're building, by doing what they're doing, they're making money hand over fist. They're building the flag football programs, which is youth football, which will then breed more tackle football, which then breed more international players into the gate, all of the NBA. And they're not going to stop because there's no impetus to stop.
Right. I realize that. Now, you're talking about Camp Nou Stadium in Barcelona?
Yeah, where Real Madrid plays. Oh my God.
Madrid. Okay.
Yeah, so what they did is they took the existing stadium and they built the new frame around the existing, and then even the surface underneath, they dug it all out, and right now the playing surface is actually grown underneath the stadium, and it's cut into 5 sections that they lift it up, and then it slides, lift up, slide, and then they just had a match. And tomorrow they've got the Tay concert. They then slide the grass underground where it can be cut, maintained, whatever they got to do to it. And now it's just a concrete surface for the concert to be on. So they never have to worry about anything tearing up the field. And they can grow the field right there on the spot, natural grass. In an enclosed, the arena is enclosed, but the very top can open. It opens up only over the field. So the fans are never in the open air. So if it's raining, they can keep the dome open. The fans stay dry. The players may get wet, but who cares? It's about the fan experience. So it's a really cool stadium with a lot of cool technology they put into it and ideas. There's a super highway that goes underneath the entire stadium where they can move things over the entire stadium to whether it be soda, water, souvenirs, whatever, ambulances, whatever they need, they can move underneath the stadium. It was a 5-year project. COVID slowed it down. They started just before COVID. And it's just a gorgeous stadium. And I hope the Bears paid attention when they're looking at how they're going to build the new stadium in Arlington, because some of the stuff they did there, like these European stadiums, man, they're nice. Some of these blow our stadiums away.
Yeah, and everything you're saying, I'm sure, is true, and I believe it. I just hate those European games for the NFL. But even though, again, I know it's not going away. And again, everything you said makes total sense.
I mean, it's not. And look at it. It's like I hate getting up early, but I always thought the Jags would move because the Jags are England's favorite team, and they own a EPL club there. So whenever the Jags go, they already have all their own facilities there. They have their own housing. They have their own practice facilities, medical facilities. Everything is baked in for them. If the Jags move there, they literally would have to do nothing but decide: do we play at Wembley or do we share with Tottenham?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Ken. You're only saying that because last time you all went to London, the Bears kicked the crap out of my team.
Well, no, I mean,
Jacksonville.
Honestly, I used to live in Jacksonville. When Sheikh Khan bought the team, the rumor right away was he was going to move them to London because he owns an EPL club. And they're the only NFL franchise that has their own facilities in London. And they actually train there in the offseason some. That players will go to London to train for the Jaguars while they do their European vacations. I mean, the Jags are uniquely set up. They're the only team that has a contract that's with the NFL that states we will play in London every year.
Oh, by the way, Joe, do you remember the last time the Bills and Jags played in London?
Oh, of course. I definitely remember that.
Me too.
And the Bills played like they hate playing there as well. Because it really, every time the Jaguars play in England, it's a home game for them.
Yeah.
Not against your team.
Well, no, but I mean, it's maybe not on the schedule, but it's a home team. I mean, they've played so many games there. And like Ken said, they're England's team or London's team, however you want to put it.
Yeah,
London's Jags.
So, I'm not trying to knock it. I mean, they kicked the Bills' butts that game. But
I don't find any Jaguar UK podcast.
There are.
I'm sure there
are. There? I haven't seen it.
They've got a baked-in fan base there because they play there every year as part of it.
Right.
They play literally. They're the only NFL team that plays there every year. Sometimes they play 2 games there, and that's part of the experiment, right? Like this year they didn't because Minnesota played 2 games, one in Ireland and one in London, showing that it didn't make a difference for them because they won the first game, lost the second game, right? So that kind of negates it. Well, they had a distinct advantage because they stayed in Europe thing. That got wiped out. But the Jags have a fan base. They have facilities. They have money. They have things there. Just like Kansas City has an agreement with Bayern Munich. They've had an agreement with Bayern Munich for over a decade, have the Kansas City Chiefs, which I'm surprised the Chiefs have never played a game in Allianz Arena because they have a long-standing relationship with the club. But the NFL got smart with that, and certain football teams got smart, like KC did, because now they have programs in these cities in Europe that are tied to NFL franchises, and they work exchange programs and they do, like when the Chiefs were rebuilding some of their infrastructure in Kansas City, guess what they did? They flew to Munich and looked at Bayern's stuff. That's why you're starting to see the cryo chambers. They've been using that in Bundesliga forever. That's why you're seeing some of these workout pools that they're putting in. They've been using that in European soccer forever. There's all this counter back and forth of ideas with the stadiums and the facilities because the NFL teams got smart and they said, look, we may be the creme de la creme in the U.S., but these European football clubs, they got something because these guys' schedules are brutal. Mm-hmm. And they don't play in the best weather either. So how are they doing it? And they've all been learning off each other, which is great. It's great for both sports. But if there was ever going to be a NFL franchise to make the jump overseas permanently, it would be Jacksonville. Now, historically speaking, Jacksonville doesn't draw. I mean, when I was there, they were paying, hey, Geico, give us $50,000 so we can tarp over the entire south end of the end zone so we can be on TV. Now they're somewhat selling tickets, but they're perennially one of the worst ticket draws in the NFL. That's the other reason why they usually get linked because it's hard to get to sell tickets in Jacksonville. I don't think they're ever going to move. I think the NFL is looking to start a whole league there, not put 2 NFL teams there, but I wouldn't take that off the table yet either.
By the way, update on Hurricane Melissa. For anybody with family or friends in Montego Bay, the airport doesn't look great. Hearing flooding, roof damage, and a big mess.
What is it now? Cat 4? Or is it still Cat 4?
Cat 3, 125 at 8 o'clock. Heading to Cuba, probably going to make landfall a couple in the morning, wee hours of the morning. We'll all sleep.
Is it going to be Cat 5 once it hits land?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be quite like
it'll strengthen on its way to Cuba probably a little bit, but not to Cat 5. It might get back up. If it's a 3 when it leaves the island, it could maybe get to a 4, but I don't think it'll get up to a 5.
Now, I missed the beginning here. I came in a little late. Where is it ultimately? Is there a danger to the U.S.?
No. Melissa's not going anywhere near us. Unless you have vacation plans in Jamaica, Cuba, the Bahamas, or Bermuda, you're Gucci.
All right. I saw it on Cuba or heading that way tonight.
Gucci.
I mean, there's always a chance you could decide to head straight north when it hits Cuba and come my direction.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a couple spaghetti models that have it. So I like to say, when people ask me where I live, I tell them I live in the cone of uncertainty. Because when they say it's not going to come, it's going to come. When Sally hit us as a Cat 2 a couple years ago, it wasn't even supposed to be anywhere near us. And then at midnight, oh, by the way, you're going to take a direct hit. And I had the eye wall directly over my house with 120-mile-an-hour sustained winds or something like that. I had a fence get blown down. We picked it up, nailed it back in. We were good. But, when it hits the Gulf, or teeters to hit the Gulf of America, weird things can happen. It could just take that beeline north for no apparent reason, or it could hit that southwesterly trail. It just depends on how it gets pushed.
Now, where are you in? Are you in South Florida?
I'm in Pensacola area. I'm the Panhandle.
Okay. On the Panhandle.
I'm the South Florida. No,
I know where you are. You're on the southwest side, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the part
the
where
fellow that owns my radio station lives in the middle.
Yeah.
What's that?
The fellow that owns my radio station lives in the middle. He's in Fort Myers.
Okay.
Yeah, you get down to Miami, like the hurricanes like to hit Miami, then ride the West Coast or the East Coast. They'll ride, because I used to live in Orlando. We used to get them all the time. They'd ride the coast. When you get into the other side, the Gulf side, it's a little more hit or miss whether they're going to come. Like they'll either, it's a spray. Like if it's going to go up the east side of Florida, it's just a given. It's going to hit Daytona. It's going to hit Jax. It's going to go up into the Carolinas. And it's the same track every time. But once it comes to the Gulf, it's anybody's game. It could veer into southern Florida like it did a couple years ago when it was a Cat 5 and hit that. It could go a little bit north. Tampa, well, it didn't even – last year Tampa still did not take a direct hit. They have not taken a direct hit since 1972. Or all of a sudden it could veer up a little more north, or then it could go northwest, and you can go all the way to all of a sudden you're hitting Texas. It can vary so much once it hits the Gulf. It's really more of a crapshoot. Like we haven't had one in Pensacola since Sally, and I've lived here in Pensacola area since 19. I've had one direct hit. I've had bands. We had Michael, which was a Cat 5 that hit Mexico Beach, where it was basically bands. But like last year when both those hurricanes hit, I had sunshiny days at the beach. So, yeah, it's a crapshoot in this part once you get up on the Gulf side.
And you know what? And Ken, you and I both know this. When a hurricane gets in the Gulf, it's going to make landfall somewhere.
Yeah, very rarely does it dissipate. Here's the other thing too. Sometimes they like to look like they're coming our way, and then beeline for Cozumel, Cancun, and the Yucatan. So Progresso gets hit quite a bit, actually.
By the way, I'm gonna head out, guys. Spunky Spectrum Sports at Dylan Sports One. Thoughts and prayers to anybody with in Jamaica, Cuba. By the way, it's still 2-1, top 7 in LA. And you guys talk wrestling whenever you want.
But yeah, the hurricane stuff is always interesting.
Later, Dylan.
Later, man. Hopefully, it won't affect. This hurricane shouldn't affect any games this week for us. It won't. Right. So we'll be fine with that. We've been lucky. This has been a good year for us. Knock on wood. Hopefully we don't get hit with anything. I would prefer not. Hurricanes are a funny business though, because it's bad for an hour-ish or so, and then it's absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The second that hurricane passes, it's gorgeous.
Well, glad you guys are safe. I was just about to head out too. So looks like you guys are good, and always great talking to you.
Absolutely, Joe.
Appreciate it, Joe.
Do it again soon.
See you later, man.
Shout out your Twitter handle.
Joe Dell Sports on Twitter X. And, of course, the Buffalo Sports Conversation Room Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock with Jamie. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right, Joe.
Best co-host ever, man.
I'm glad you two connect.
We do.
Yeah, who is the Europe game this week? Is it Munich today? This week? Who is it this? Where is it this week? Do we know?
It's nothing this week. It's November 9th. November 9th is the next game.
Okay, and that's Germany.
No, this Sunday is the worst Sunday of the year.
Why?
Clocks go back.
Oh, okay.
I hate
so stupid.
The Bears need a rebound this week after last. I mean, look at some Bears fans are freaking out, but you guys remember during the bye, I said the Bears, if they go 5-0, phenomenal. If they go 4-1, we're good. 3-2, okay, they're still in it. 2-3, So right now we're 2-1. If we can win this game against Cincinnati this week, we're good. The Bears are still in contention for the playoff. For the playoffs, I mean, this is like. I'm not frustrated. I'm not displeased, but I'm just like, okay, Ben, the offense it's shown flashes of being better, but where is it? We're doing Chicago things. Don't use the tight ends, bad pass play, just throw the ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and look for yak. I mean, why are we still doing these things? And then you see flashes of these balls that roam, that Caleb will throw to Rome and these other guys. Like, why aren't we doing more of this? Like the first play of the game, the Colston Loveland, you're like, oh, are the tight ends going to get used? Nope. Just one play. Never mind. Yeah, I hate the clocks going back though. Ugh. Not that it affects my Monday much. My work schedule is on Mondays, take a nap with the grandbaby in the afternoon,
That's a rough schedule, Ken.
It is. It's very hard to keep. Even though tonight he didn't go home to almost 7:30, so we had him a long time today. It does get tiring because these kids, babies, grandbabies, toddlers have a lot of energy. And let's just say we're older. So they want to run. After a while, your battery's going, hey, little dude. Yeah. I'm not 20 anymore. I can't run. Let's play something else.
Yep.
No.
Our little man, he's a little over 4, and he is go, and especially he is all about his Gigi. He'll hang out with me and that kind of stuff, but Mary can't turn around without him knowing where she's at. If she starts doing certain things, he's right there. Like if she starts cleaning or if she starts he's right there to help her.
Like I had to leave the house to go run. Well, I had to go run errands today, and I came home from running errands, and he was outside playing with the neighborhood kid. So my wife's out there with the neighbor. They got the kids are playing. I parked the car, and I was saying, pop, and I see this little body with this cute little coat on running, arms wide open for the hug. My situation here is like, have you ever seen the videos where the grandparents are coming up to the house, and the kids in the house all excited, and they open the door, and the baby runs out, and the grandma goes down there with the arms wide open, like, come to grandma, give me a hug, and the kid goes right around the grandmother and goes right to that's what happens here. It doesn't matter what he's doing. If I show up, pop, and runs. So when I come out of the cave after the show in the morning, it's like, and if I come back in here, he has to come in here. The cool thing is sometimes he kind of figures out that, okay, Pop and Nana might be not wanting to run around as much. So he'll say, bed, pink fung, bed. That means he wants to go lay down in the bed, snuggle up, and watch his cartoons. So he is great like that. And then I usually fall asleep.
Learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he little man, he will in the very beginning it was all about Gigi. He was okay with me, but I don't think he knew what to do with me at the very beginning. He was all about his Gigi. As time has gone on, it's more Gramps, it's more, he'll come over and sit next to me and watch a baseball game or watch the race or we'll watch cartoons or whatever. Or he'll come in and want to draw or build something. But it's kind of leveled out a little bit, which I think helps Mary a little bit too, because if he's in here messing with his blocks or we're watching something or whatever, then she can kind of decompress for a minute until he decides he wants his Gigi again, and then he goes.
He spends anywhere from 7 to 10 hours a day with us during the week.
Oh wow!
So like for his birthday weekend, went to his house for his party, and there was a petting zoo and there were some animals he didn't want to get near, and his dad was like, I'm not touching it. He said, pop, 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 pop. And so his dad had to hand his kid off to me. And then he was comfortable enough with me where he'd pet a snake because he was terrified. And I actually got him to pet a snake. And his dad's like, why can't I do that? Well, I'm with your kid 7 to 10 hours a day, playing with him all day. I mean, he loves his dad. Don't get me wrong. But he's just more comfortable with Pop Pop.
Yeah, we'll occasionally get him for a day or two. He'll talk about wanting to spend the night at Gigi and Gramps' house, that kind of thing. So we'll do that every now and then, and he'll be over for a few hours. And every now and then we get him for an extended period, but yeah, nothing like that kind of time frame that you get with him.
We tease our daughter. Yours. We tease our daughter like, okay, like today she's like, where you go? He's not going home. He's staying here. Like we tease him that we're going to keep him overnight sometime, and we wouldn't mind it. I mean. Our child is lucky that we are the grandparents we are, because there's some grandparents like, don't you bring your kid around here, right? Go do childcare, go do something else. I'm done with kids. You're out of the house. We look at it like, this is awesome, right? We have the opposite track. We're like, this is awesome. We get to play with this kid all day, have fun with him, and he gets so much love. He's so well adjusted. And then we got kids in our neighborhood that he can play with. And he's not just in some daycare where he's a paycheck to someone. And we've potty trained him, and we teach him things, and we get to do those things. And look, we've learned because we had our kids, so we know what works and don't work. Right. Mm-hmm. So like potty training was easy here. We knew about the pee pops right off the bat. Get the bag of dum-dums. You want a pee pop? Then go to the potty and the pee pee in the potty by yourself. And this kid is so great. When he gets a pee pop, when he has earned a pee pop, you know what he does, Rich? I pick him up and he picks out, if we're all three of us are there, he picks out 3 pee pops and makes sure he hands one to my wife and one to me. We all get pee pops when he pees in the potty. I mean, come on, you can't get better than that.
There's times that Lauren and Justin, my daughter and son-in-law, will get ready to go. They'll be like, okay, Jackson, it's time to go. And he goes, okay, bye-bye, Mama. Bye-bye, Daddy. I stay here with Gigi and Gramps.
He did that to his dad yesterday. His dad's like, okay, Sebastian, we got to go. He's like, bye. He's like, bye-bye.
Jackson will do that. He'll do that pretty frequently to Lauren and Justin. And then Mary and I just laugh at him.
I haven't gotten him for a football game yet. However, he does have Bears jerseys. His first ABC book is a Chicago Bears ABC book I picked up at O'Hare on the way back from our cruise. And we just got him a Pensacola Ice Flyers jersey, 2 of them actually. Last Saturday, they had a $5 night, and they were selling their jerseys 2 for $25 for kids, $2 for $55 for adults. Because you know what's the cool thing about developmental hockey? They do like those themed hockey nights. Like they'll do like they had one for the Blue Angels, so all the jerseys were Blue Angels hockey jerseys. My wife got one of those. I got Toy Story and SpongeBob, and he's got a Toy Story and a Blue Angels. So this kid's getting. we're giving him the sports paraphernalia. I just haven't been able to watch a game with him yet. But eventually, Pop will train him on his Bears and his Blackhawks, and he will get into sports.
I have a picture somewhere. That's what I was just looking at my phone to see if I can find it. I have a picture somewhere. Jackson was born July 26th. My birthday is August 3rd. It's also the day my dad passed away, on my 50th birthday. Ooh. And it was also the last Steelers-Cowboys game preseason, okay? Hall of Fame game. So he is in his little carrier. They just brought him home from the hospital, okay? They had to take him back because he had a little bit of an issue. They got taken care of, bring him home. They bring him over to the house to see the game, okay? I took my terrible towel and laid it across his little carrier, I guess it's called. Laid it across that so he had the terrible towel around him. Steelers score right out of the box. When they scored that touchdown, I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah. I was like, Steeler from the start. The kid is a Steeler from the start. And, of course, his dad is a Cowboys fan. But, I still like the guy. But, he is a Cowboys fan. So,
See, I don't have that problem. My son-in-law doesn't care about sports. He cares about his video games. And my daughter-in-law doesn't really care either. Like she's a Red Sox fan as far as baseball. She likes the Sox. But as far as everything else, I get to drive the train. So he's got Blackhawks gear. He's got Bears gear. We just got him some Pensacola Ice Flyers gear. I get to drive the train on what sports teams because the rest of them have abdicated the throne to Pop. So
the one shirt that Jackson has, he has a baseball shirt. It's a Corey Seager Ranger shirt that he has. But I got to get him. I got to get him a Steelers jersey and that kind of deal. But he has a terrible towel, and it's just really funny because my wife and the girls. My wife's from Louisiana, so the girls and my wife, they were always Saints. They're Saints fans. My son-in-law is a Cowboy fan. That's okay. So, it's always that little battle going on throughout the house, and of course I talk about the original black and gold, not that secondary black and gold of the Saints. I'll pull for the Saints. I don't mind pulling for the Saints if I need to, but that Cowboys Steelers thing between me and him, it's funny to watch because, he'll dig at me a little bit. I'll dig at him a little bit. And then, but he keeps telling me my son is going to be a Cowboys fan. Sorry, dude. He was a Steeler fan from the beginning. Sorry, buddy.
Adam, take notes.
Oh,
yeah. He's like, I'm never having grandkids. No, take notes.
I mean, I have 3 kids, so maybe who knows?
Yeah, grandkids are the best.
I got 4. I got 4.
Oh my God.
2 sets of twins.
I only have 3 that I know of. Where's 4?
No, I have 4.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to enjoy some games this week. I can't believe it's Tuesday, man. These weeks fly by, man. They just fly by because today's a busy day because I have the morning show. Then tonight, tomorrow, of course, I got a full slate, and it's like crap. It's Thursday night football already, and then boom, we're back to Tuesday. I mean, I can't believe we're through week 8 already. Coming into week 9 and the trade deadline, it's like before I know it, I'm going crap. It's the off season. What the hell are we going to talk about in June?
4-1 Toronto, top of the 7th. Toronto just scored another one off a looks like a fielder's choice from Kirk. Or no, I'm sorry, from Ty France.
Yeah,
so 4-1, top of the 7th, Toronto.
And the NBA started, if anyone cares. I don't, but it started.
That gambling situation's a little mess.
Dude, people act like, oh my God. And look, I'm trying not to be political here, but there's no way to avoid it. When it broke, there was a massive community on X, especially. Oh my God, this is Trump and the DOJ going after political enemies because they don't like the NBA. No, dudes. This is not the first time there's been a massive gambling issue in the NBA. If you don't believe me, get on Netflix, look at their Untold series, and there's a whole documentary about the ref that was shaving points for Vegas.
Tim
right?
Donaghy.
Yeah, it's like there's been issues with gambling in the NBA forever. They just find, and look at the DOJ didn't start this investigation last January when Trump got inaugurated. This investigation's gone on probably over at least the last 2 administrations. It probably
It
at least
started this investigation alone started in 2023.
Yeah.
Now there was another issue in 2019, but nothing became of it.
So this started under Biden's DOJ.
Christopher Wray and Garland opened this case.
Yeah. This started under Biden's DOJ, ended under Trump's DOJ.
I don't know.
That's why. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not a political thing. This is a multi.
I'll tell you why.
Well, I know why too, but it's a multi administration investigation, but they want to score their political points any way they can right now. So I get that. But I was in a way I was not surprised, and it's like the NBA since after Jordan left, it was okay for a little bit when you was Kobe and AI, right? Because Allen Iverson was still like something Kobe and AI you could latch onto for different reasons, right? AI could have 2 broken legs and he'd still be out there killing himself for his team. Kobe was just that guy, right? LeBron at that point was coming up, but no one really cared. But after those 2 guys, and it became LeBron's league, the league just friggin' tanked. And then they wanted to be political and be social justice and be this and be that and be a 3-point shooting contest. The NBA has been a self-inflicted gunshot wound for at least a decade plus. So this is not the death knell, but then when you look at the WNBA and all the bullshit going on with the WNBA and the NBA, this latest debacle, it's like the NBA started. It's like, who cares? Peacock just spent all this money to stream games. No one cares.
So is the Hall of Fame going to take his enshrinement down?
Take whose enshrinement down?
Chauncey Billups.
It depends on what part.
If he's found guilty, they will.
Yeah. But if it's for him, it's betting post-career, post-playing career, where it doesn't affect any of his playing stuff. If his playing career comes through unscathed, maybe not, because then you can always say, look at post-playing career.
4,000 hits should be in the Hall of Fame too. Then.
Well, I know. Well, he is.
No, because he was betting during his career.
Yeah, but Pete Rose
while he was managing.
In the Hall now. But Pete Rose.
But Chauncey Billups was betting while he was managing.
Yeah. So but as a player,
if they find that to be the case, then he should be gone. He should be out of there. Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you, but the argument, I'm just saying the argument will be made that because he's in the Hall of Fame on the merits of him being a player, then that's why he should remain in the Hall. What he did as a coach is inexcusable. It's bad. It's terrible. Blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't change that he's in the Hall for what he did as a player. That is the argument that will be made, agree or disagree with it. But I think they'll muddy the waters enough where they won't remove him. Now, look, you can make the argument like Barry Bonds,
I
though.
think they need to completely remove him if he gets busted. If not, then you need to make Pete Rose in there for the player, and that's it.
Well, Pete Rose, I don't know if he's in there for the player or as a manager, but I know he's in. He's in as a player, isn't he?
No, Rose isn't in at all.
I thought they said they were posthumously now going to admit him into the Hall.
They were making him eligible for the Veterans Committee.
He'll go in as a player.
I don't think the Veterans Committee is going to put him in either.
But another one that should get in.
This is going to become a debacle every day.
Bonds had a Hall of Fame career with Pittsburgh before Balco and all this other stuff. He was already going to be a Hall of Famer. And same thing with Schilling. He was already going to be a Hall of Famer before all the Balco stuff. They should be in as well. Mark McGwire, questionable. Sammy Sosa, questionable. But Barry Bonds was going to be a Hall of Famer How many Gold Gloves did he win before Balco? 8, 9. He was a perennial All-Star.
No, he won 3 in Pittsburgh. He had he had 2 Hall of Fame careers. One in Pittsburgh.
He only had 192 home runs whenever he left here, though.
Yeah, he was already going to be a Hall of Famer at that point.
He was well on his way to hitting.
Yeah,
he was on his way to hitting 400 or 500.
And Kurt Schilling should have been a Hall of Famer before the Balco. He was already there. I mean, with Chauncey Billups, so and look, it's going to affect him. Kevin Garnett's in this. There's a lot of big names in this NBA scandal. So
I heard LeBron James' name is really starting to come up more.
Well, LeBron
he's connected with Daniel Nomez.
I think that if LeBron gets to be a part of this, it just shuts this whole LeBron GOAT argument down for good. Finally puts the last nail in that coffin, because I'm just so sick of LeBron walking around saying, I'm the GOAT. No, you're not, dude. If you're the GOAT, you don't need to call yourself the GOAT. Notice Jordan has never said he's the greatest of all time. Every time they ask a question, he doesn't answer it. He says, well, you got to look at the players that came before me, or you'll say something like that. He never gives an answer that I am the best. But everyone else that played against him, everybody, without fail, Bird, Magic, Olajuwon, all those greats are all like Dr. J. All of them will say the same thing. Jordan's the GOAT.
You want to hear a good one? There are ethical requirements for the NBA Hall of Fame, the MLB Hall of Fame, such and so forth, right?
Right.
The Basketball Hall of Fame's primary ethical requirements include inductees are inspected to have demonstrated good sportsmanship, strong character, leadership, and respect for the game, according to the NABC Code of Ethics. Nominees must also hold to the highest standard of honesty and integrity. Betting on the game, non-integrity. Gone. Same thing in baseball. The exact same word is in baseball.
Well, here's a question. And has anyone ever been removed from the Hall of Fame for something they've done post-career? Playing career?
I don't think so.
OJ's still in the Hall, isn't he?
He had to give back his Heisman. Let me look. Hold on.
I don't think they took him out.
I don't think they took OJ out.
I don't think they did either. I know they made him give back his Heisman and took him out of the College Hall of Fame.
I don't know why.
Pro Football Hall
I don't know why, because nothing he did that had nothing to do with his playing career in college.
Okay. But here's why. It says his bust remains there because the Hall of Fame has a policy to not remove inductees based on off-field actions. The Hall's bylaws state that induction is based solely on a player's achievements on the field, and they do not have a process for removing members. So you can be a 100% absolute sleaze off the field, but on the field,
so now look at the NBA's. So look at the NBA's policy on that. What's the NBA's policy on removing people from the Hall? Because you're looking at precedents here. Yeah. You could be looking at precedents where you could have a Hall of Famer being removed from the Hall because of something post-playing career. And I keep making that distinction because Chauncey Billups was in the Hall based as a player, not as a coach.
There is no formal policy for the removal of enshrined members from the Basketball Hall of Fame, and it has never removed an inductee. The Hall of Fame has a process to remove a candidate from consideration before induction if they are found to have, quote, damaged the integrity of the game of basketball.
So Chauncey Billups is in the Hall as a player, correct?
I think so.
I think he's in there for
wait a minute. Right? Is he in?
You know what? Let's ask Brock.
Yeah, he was inducted in 2024.
Okay, I thought he was
so this would be precedent.
He went in with Carmelo. That's right.
This would, if they were to remove him because of this betting scandal, this would be setting precedents. And like I said, I'm going to keep making this distinction. Unless they can prove that he bet as a player, which is what he's in the hall for, it's going to be hard to remove him for what he did as a coach.
But it's still integrity of the game.
I get that. That would forbade him from being inducted as a coach. Because the NBA and some of these other leagues, you can go in twice, right?
So why didn't Pete Rose get in as a player?
Well, he's going to
when
now.
he retired.
He's going
when he retired. Wait,
no, he's going to.
Because he was banned from baseball, and because he was banned from baseball, it precluded him from being.
No, as they found that he bet as a player too.
Who? Rose?
He was a player coach, and
he was a player manager at the time. True. Yeah,
he was player manager and betting on the team, so he get out as a player and as a coach.
But the other thing that was different with Pete Rose is the commissioner banned him from baseball, and he was not in the Hall of Fame yet. So because he was banned from baseball, he's banned from consideration because he's been banned from baseball. So, but had he already been in the Hall, then got banned from baseball, MLB would have made a decision whether or not to leave him enshrined or not. Just like the NBA
somebody else out.
Well, the NBA is going to have to make a decision on Billups. You know, are they going to leave him in for what he did as a player, or now because of what he did post-playing career, remove him? And whatever they do, whichever way they go, it's precedence.
It's going to cause issues, but with them not having set guidelines, they can do whichever they decide to do. And they can claim it's an integrity of the game issue. Because even though you've retired, if you're performing an NBA act, if you're performing an act as an NBA player or as an NBA representative, you still have to act accordingly. You know, you can't, you still have to show proper representation of the league, of the game, of the sport. Even though you're retired, if you're in an NBA function, and as a coach, you're in an NBA function.
So here's the interesting. Okay, so the guys who are in there, I just grokked it. I don't know if this is a full. This can't be a full list. They only gave me 3 names. Terry Rozier, guard, Miami Heat, currently playing. Chauncey Billups, head coach, Portland Trail Blazers, current Hall of Famer, playing as a player, 97-14. And then Damon Mookie Jones, former player, 11 seasons, assistant coach for the Cavs until 22. Unofficial Lakers assistants, 22-23. Now for Rozier, he could face up to 20 years if convicted. They didn't say anything about Billups for president, and neither for Jones. It's going to be interesting. Woof. And that's the only ones mentioned so far. Were there other players? Was that it?
They said there are others that were in the investigation that they just haven't come out with yet. Huh?
Terry Rozier was a big one.
Well, there was those 3.
Yeah, Rozier, Billups,
Daniel, the pretty much like, what was his last name, Rich? Daniel Gomez?
Well, here's a funny thing. So for Chauncey Billups, lured victims to mafia-backed rigged poker games using his celebrity, also accused as a, quote, co-conspirator 8 in betting scheme for tipping off about Blazers wrestling players in the 2023 games possibly tanking. So, but conspirator number 8 or conspirator 8. So that to me says there's more people involved.
Yeah, they just haven't gotten from the way that I saw the thing with Kash Patel. They're still gathering information on the other people. And when they get all of that information together, then they're going to go after the rest of them.
It gets better. Related figures. The indictments reference unnamed player 3, a prominent Lakers player who sat out a 2023 game, and other co-conspirators like Long Fan, poker ringleader, and Tony Goodson, cheating coach. Jonte Porter, banned in 2024 for similar prop bet manipulation, is linked via the same investigation origins. So who's the prominent Laker player who sat out a 2023 game? I can see why they're saying LeBron.
It would either be LeBron or AD, one or the other.
Yep. Unusual betting patterns flagged by sports books like DraftKings and FanDuel since 2023 led to the probe, amplified by legalized sports betting post the 2018 Supreme Court ruling. So, but the bigger question is, at least for the three that we know now with Chauncey Billups, it's going to be precedent setting whether they let him remain in the Hall. And if LeBron is in, he's never getting into the Hall. He's done. No. I mean, he'll be retired the next day. They will boot him from the league. Done.
Oh, yeah. They'll boot him like they booted Donaghy. They won't ask any questions. They won't nothing. If they find evidence that he was part of a point shaving or tampering with the and I keep using the term, but it's the term, integrity of the game, he's gone. He will be on the first thing smoking out of the league.
Rozier was placed on indefinite NBA leave, like I said, and faced up to 20 years if convicted.
Oof. I saw Rozier put up his house, his $6 million house for bail.
Yep.
And here's the thing. He was previously cleared by the NBA in 2020 in a 2023 probe, but lacked subpoena power. Interesting. So the NBA knew something was up, and they were looking into themselves, but didn't have the power to do anything about it. And the DOJ says, hold my beer.
Well, there were over 30 people that were indicted in this thing the other day. It just so happened 3 of them were NBA players. But there was over 30 that were indicted.
Yeah, I thought it was 34.
Yeah, anyway, I don't know the exact, but I know it said over 30. It just so happens that there's 3 of them that are prominent NBA figures.
See, this is the thing that scares me with like DraftKings and FanDuel being linked to professional sports the way they are. It really does, because like the NFL is all DraftKinged up, right? They're an official sponsor. That's dangerous, right? I mean, and you look at this deal now, and now you've got a Hall of Famer mixed in, and this is going to be precedent setting one way or the other. Like it's going to be, it's a lose-lose for the NBA. If they kick him out, it's a lose, because then the guys are going to say, well, wait a minute. He got in as a player for the merits as a player. He did everything as a player. He should be in, and you've now ruined the Hall. You've tainted it. But if you leave him in, people are saying, well, now you're tainting it because here's a guy who bet on NBA games as a head coach. They're in a lose-lose situation on this whole Chauncey Billups thing. Where they're going to be able to win is on guys like if it's LeBron as that Lakers player, well, LeBron or AD, they're never getting in. Clear cut. They can set it in stone. It's going to be what it's going to be. But this is a mess. And yeah, that's why the NBA, I can't watch it anymore. It's just the NBA is a hot mess.
Now they want to make it where college athletes are able to bet on professional sports. As it sits right now, college athletes are not permitted to bet in any way, shape, or form on sports. They want to make it now where college athletes are able to bet on professional sports. Big problem. I mean, can anybody besides me not see the big neon light problem with this?
No, I do. But you know what? Here's something I think with athletes and betting, the leagues need to have, the leagues already have some rules. But here's some rules I think if you're an NFL player, you should be able to bet on NBA, MLB, NHL. It's not your league. You technically don't have a dog in the fight. You don't play in the league. You can't skew the score. There's no threat of you tanking a game or anything, right? If you're a player in the NBA, you should be able to vote be able to bet on NFL games or NHL games. Because once again, you're in the MLB, you can't make the Blackhawks give up a goal or the Browns give up a touchdown. For college athletes betting professional, I think once again, if you're a college football player, you shouldn't be able to do anything in terms of the NFL because your classmate from the year before is now a player in the NFL and you could get in the point shaving. But if you're a college football player, you should be able to bet on MLB games, even though I still think there could be a threat of that. But how many guys go straight from playing college to the MLB in 1 year? Usually it takes, unless you're one of the top 5 picks, and even then, maybe sometimes the top 2, be it the NHL or the MLB, it takes years to get in the league. And when you look at your top NHL picks, they're usually 18 years old and don't even go to college. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're an NCAA football player, let them bet on the NHL because they probably don't know anyone who plays in the NHL. For baseball, they probably don't know anyone who plays in MLB because they're stuck in the farm system somewhere. So I don't have as much of a problem. With the NFL, it's a little different. Your classmate from Bama last year now plays for the Cowboys and could influence the game. So I'd agree with you there. But, I mean, I can see, though, why they shouldn't at all, because it's the perception of it.
Yeah, definitely is. Jeremy, how you doing, man? I hate to do this, but man, I gotta fly.
That's okay. I've been on. You know where I've been for the last 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
The NBA's back on NBC. I love that. Other than that.
So wait, real quick, JB, the one thing we were talking about real quick was the NBA betting scandal. If Chauncey Billups is found guilty, do you think they remove him? He's a current Hall of Famer as a player.
Well,
these charges come down with him as a coach. Do they remove him from the Hall of Fame?
More than likely. But anyways, at that time, what he was accused of was with the poker ring. Terry Rozier, the player, is the one that was giving out who's injured, who's not on each team before they played. What scheme does a team run and stuff like that? The bettors. That's the difference.
Billups is also being accused of tipping off about the Blazers resting players in a 2023 game, tanking the game. So he is accused of stuff as a head coach as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's being more. It's more about the poker, from what I understood.
I mean, the NBA is going to be interesting. He might be the first Hall of Famer in any sport to be removed from the Hall of Fame post-induction. It's going to be interesting. But the NBA is a fucking joke. That's why I can't watch it.
It's back on NBC, though, Ken.
Yeah, even though it's on I can watch a 3-point contest on NBC. I mean, the game does not have the same flair. It doesn't have the same excitement. Most of it is watching guys launch threes all day.
That's true. Hey, Adam, we good for tomorrow night, man?
As far as I know, buddy. If I get done early, Rich, you want to go? Or if I get done early, you want to go early again?
We can, sure.
Okay.
We can. Just
We'll
let me
see
know
what time I get done.
As we sit and as I'm getting ready to head out, it is 6-1 Toronto. Runners on second and third. Top of the 8th inning, 2 outs. So unless there is a massive meltdown by the Blue Jays, they're going to even up the series at 2 games apiece. So you can get me on Twitter at BigRich8371 or on Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson. Tomorrow night, me and the guy to my right, we'll be doing Steel City Sports Talk, talking about the Steelers, the Penguins, the Pirates, and other Pittsburgh things. And God only knows where we end up after all that. Definitely appreciate all you guys. We definitely can't do this without everybody listening and watching the broadcast. And appreciate you guys for doing this thing, Jeremy and Ken and Jamie and, of course, Adam. I'll catch you guys later on. Adam will do it tomorrow night.
All right, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, guys. See y'all later.
Bye, Rich.
Yeah, this is just a mess.
Yeah.
I wonder if somebody's been making comments that Carson Wentz's shoulder has been hurt for 3 weeks. That's why he was playing so bad. And I said, if that's the case, then what was it? He finally looked at the schedule, says, "Oh crap, I got to play the Lions. They're 5th in sacks this year, and my O-line shit."
Supposedly it's been broken. The bone's been broken for 3 weeks, but you could see last week they even breathed on him. You could see the amount of pain he was trying to play through.
I understand.
I get the joke.
I was thinking the joke. And now Jay Jetta's like, I'm in danger.
Yeah, but but JJ was going to play this week anyways. But I mean, I'm going to give Carson. Joke aside, I'm going to give Carson Wentz some props for sticking it out with that injury for 3 weeks to give them the time to get JJ back. You want to talk about taking one for the team? That took one for the team in a massive way.
Was that a Myles Garrett hit, by the way, in London?
It was one
that's
of 5.
That's whenever it hurt. That's whenever he broke it.
Yeah,
but
it was against the Browns.
It probably was a separation that turned into a broken bone in that game because he was more brutalized.
He came back with the flap jacket. He came back with the flap jacket, Jeremy. Remember after halftime?
Yeah.
And that game overseas.
Yeah. Something else.
But I'm saying I wasn't talking about J.J. McCarthy. I'm talking about Jay Jetta. All of a sudden, there's rumors surfacing he wants out of Minnesota.
Well, yeah, because they're losing. I mean, you never want to be in the basement. Addison's in the basement right now. That tells you a lot about the guy, though. Like I don't know if I'd want to trade for him, to be honest. But if the second they get into the basement and he wants to trade, it's like, dude, really? I mean, and you're in the basement in the north, which isn't bad because you're not out of it by any stretch of the means. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Anywho, guys, I'm gonna have to jump off here. You can catch me at Ken the Bear Fan on X, Ken the Bear Fan on Rumble, Ken the Bear Fan on YouTube, and of course the Huddle Sports Network and JB's. I'm usually on JB's YouTube as well. Kneecap biting, was it?
With the Motor City Lion.
There we go. And the Huddle Sports app on Roku and Amazon. Yeah, brother, it was fun.
Were you not able to share it to your Rumble tonight?
No, because I can't set up an RMTP as a guest on your show. You wouldn't let me do it. Yeah, because that's why tonight it went to X and it went to. I would have much preferred to go to X and Rumble tonight, but I couldn't send it to the Rumble because the way Rumble is, it's RMTP. It's a one-time use. So like every day I have to redo it for JB's morning show and my morning show. Tomorrow I got to do 4 of them. So after my morning show, then I can. Well, actually, I'll set up the MMA one, and after my morning show, I'll set up Hallis, and then after JB's show, I'll set up Roundtable. So I got 5 tomorrow. So yeah, I have a template. I have a template for this show. I just couldn't use it because StreamYard wouldn't let me do a single-use RMTP as a guest on the program.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Rumble though. I do like it. I mean, if you're watching on X, it's great because like I've had people on X that are good friends of mine, like Bogey, said, "Hey man, he said I was in a space with him the other day, and he said, how he comments on the show. And I asked him, have you ever made a comment on the show that I didn't acknowledge or that didn't come up on the screen?" He said, "Yeah, a couple times, but don't worry about it." I said, No. I mean, because JB will tell you, we acknowledge every comment that comes across the board, especially if it's like Bogey saying, "Hey, good morning, guys." That's definitely going up there. The only comments that don't go up there are some of the John Dorn comments when he's in troll mode, whether we need, because sometimes you need John Dorn's trolling moments to drive the show a little. Sometimes you don't. So you don't throw Dorn up there, and Dorn gets it. Sometimes when guys are going back and forth between themselves in the comments, we don't throw it up. But normally, every comment gets thrown up for the most part. And he said, and what it came down to is guys are making comments on X, and they're not always coming through on StreamYard. And sometimes what they'll do is they'll come up at 6 p.m. Even though the show started at 8, they come up at 6, so we never see them at the bottom of the feed.
Now, did you see my comments the other day from Twitter?
On the morning show?
It was on your morning show, yeah.
No.
Okay, I commented.
Like I said, I very rarely get to see them.
And sometimes I'll comment. Go ahead, Jimmy.
And sometimes I think on my show, it's because it's technically not streaming to my profile because I don't have that blue check mark.
Doesn't matter if I'm doing it from my blue check mark account. Today, did you get my comments from Rumble today?
No, none.
I commented from Rumble twice, and they didn't come through for whatever reason then.
Yep. I saw that you were there. I mean, I saw that Rumble was working, and you evidently were able to watch it.
Yeah, because I noticed it wasn't on my X feed, so it was a good thing when I shared it to the Lions feed, I shared it to my main feed at the same time, or you wouldn't have been on my X feed today. On my main feed, I was like, oh, okay. But
I had to make a choice.
I made 2 comments. Rumble up until today has been flawless about them coming through with StreamYard. So I do like Rumble, but Rumble, I gotta get to 100 followers for it to be really worth the money I'm paying for it. So please, give the follows on Rumble. They do make a big difference. Right now I'm at 27 followers, so I need like another 73. But I do find that the viewership on Rumble is a little bit better than YouTube. Put it that way. It's just you got to get to 100 to make it worth your while. So
and
get a Rumble if you don't have one. You can get one free.
It's a less filtered. It's a less filtered chat too.
Yeah. I like Rumble. I just gotta get more people. I gotta get more people on my Rumble to make it worth the while. But so far, the experiment's about a week old. And it's going okay.
So
you gotta show me how to Thursday. Yeah.
You gotta show me how to do that because I don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to RT at PMs and all that.
It's fairly simple. I can walk you through it. It's fairly simple. But no, I like Rumble. So yeah, I've been using that. But I still love X. Even though X doesn't give us any love for these shows that we do, but it's okay. I still like sending it there. Good group of people. At least they're getting to watch and listen. Even though X screwed up the way we post it to communities, so that's hurting us. And some communities have been banned, like the Packers community. Packers X or Packers Twitter got shut down about a week ago. The whole community got suspended. Yeah. I was like looking for it to send the show there. Like, where the hell did Packers Twitter go? And so I dug back into my feed where I'd sent something to Packers Twitter and went to it. And when it sent me the Packers Twitter, I got the notification that the community had been suspended. Yeah. So, anywho, guys, it was a pleasure seeing you guys tonight. We'll see you, Jamie, tomorrow night. JB and Jamie, I'll see you tomorrow night. Are you gonna come?
You might see me, might not. You heard Rich. He agreed to move the time up, so we'll see what happens.
So good. All right, fellas. I'll see you soon.
All right, Rich. All right, Kenny.
Yep. Have a good
one. Jeremy, anything you want to talk about before we wrap up? Because you're a late bloomer this evening.
Hey, I got to be a late bloomer every week now. I just been made a permanent part of that fire up, so it sucks.
No, that's a different fire up than the one we're on. It's
Inside the Pigskin, same channel though, South Florida Tribune. It's his football show. I can't tell him no. He publishes my stuff.
They pay you. They pay you. I don't.
I would. It's still free.
I thought you made something for your writing.
Not yet. I'm still an intern.
Still an intern?
Yeah, I don't have a degree in journalism. My writing is straight up self-taught.
Wow, I thought you were. Anyway.
I'm not.
Anyway,
I do not have a degree.
I guess we're ready to wrap it up, kids.
No, as you heard, Ken, you can find me on the Huddle Up Sports Network, and you can also find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Fighting with the Motor City Lions. I'm live almost every day of the week, but Sunday, because Sunday is like a religion. It's football.
You don't talk on Sundays, Jeremy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. I do not talk on Sunday.
Do you spit out your Twitter handle?
It's right there at Smoking Jeremy.
Absolutely. Hey, well, you can get me at Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube, guys. You can get me at Sports Talking on Twitter. Driving to the Top on Twitter. And I usually comment back, say hi, stop in, say hi, ask how I'm doing. I'll ask how you're doing. We'll have many conversations. And yeah, you can get me on Tuesday night here. tomorrow night, Wednesday. We might be going in early tomorrow, guys, just to let you all know. So we'll see for some sport Pittsburgh talk. And Jamie, you ready to close this thing out?
Yep.
Before you go, Jamie, I did want to ask one thing. I heard TJ Watt lit the defense up and said, "What the are we doing, guys, today?"
Probably. That sounds like him.
Just asking.
Yep.
All right, go ahead. Get it, Jamie. Let's go with the 15-minute outro.
All right. You guys can follow me, yours truly, at Bill's Chat 1, at Bill's Mafia Chat, and also at Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dog Diggs at Twitter, X, and theforkball.com, where I write about all sports. You guys can also follow me on Driving to the Top Productions every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, where Joe Dalio and I, a.k.a. I call Joe the best co-host I've ever had. He's a great guy. We connect very well. We do a show called the Buffalo Sports Conversation Room. We just did a show tonight on we just did a show tonight talking about Chiefs Week and how the Bills bounced back against the Panthers and all that jazz. And then you could check with me, Joe, Ken, and Adam on Open Sports Night, Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Driving the Top Productions. And then tomorrow I'll be on with Jeremy, Ken, and all his wonderful humorous crew at the Huddle Sports Network, where we'll be doing another NFL Roundtable talk. And then obviously Thursdays, starting in on March 27th, Adam, Jeremy, and Marcus and I will be doing the new revamped UFL for season 3. And we're exactly 150 days away from the UFL season, if any of you guys are wondering. So thank you guys very much for listening to our show. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and ring the bell for all notifications. Make sure you get all notifications. You never miss an episode of this. And for more content on Driving to the Top Production, you can visit our X page, YouTube channel, Facebook stream, Twitch stream, wherever you get your podcast. For all of us here at Driving to the Top Productions, I'm Jamie Malloy, and this has been another episode of Open Mike Night here on Driving to the Top Productions. See you next week, next Tuesday, everybody. Good night.
Good night, folks. Everybody, have a good evening.